Welcome back. It's Smoking and Toasting. We are thrilled to have you on board for our show. It's number 142, and we are brought to you by B&B Butchers and Restaurant at 1814 Washington Ave in Houston, in the shops at Clear Fork and Fort Worth, by BB Lemon with a location on Washington Ave right across the street from B&B Butchers, and a new one coming soon, which we'll be telling you about as well. And, of course, by BB Italia, which we have to go and try. Ian, that's like next dinner out, I think we have to go. So something really interesting is going on with Facebook and Instagram. The company Facebook and Instagram has said that photos that are posted by people that include cigar use or tobacco use do not violate their policy. So if you or I post something of us smoking a cigar or like something, that's not in violation of policy. But they do have policy against advertising for any tobacco products. The reason I bring this up is because the article that I was reading about this, they are under intense pressure to virtually eliminate any tobacco references of any kind from both platforms. If that pressure were to be bowed to, if Facebook and Instagram said, okay, fine, you win, no tobacco, we wouldn't be able to do this show on Facebook,
right?
Because we talk about smoking cigars. I'm trying to figure out what's happening in this country right now because it's freaking me out.
Why is cigar smoking such the enemy of all the people? It's amazing how much they want to choke that down. I understand to a degree. We don't want to glorify this to young people, things like that. But as we know, cigar smoking is not a thing that basically anyone under 18 ever does.
Right, not premium cigars, not by any means. And study after study have shown this, even though they didn't need the studies to show it. They've been done, and it shows it. I just don't get it. I mean, it just seems like there are so many more pressing problems in society.
The other side of this is, just by showing a picture of someone smoking a cigar makes you have to go out and smoke a cigar. Get a backbone, people.
Yeah,
because you see somebody smoke a cigar makes you susceptible to smoking cigars or cigarettes or whatever.
Yeah.
Grow a backbone. Be an adult. Be a person.
And if you're a parent, have your own conversation with your
also,
kids.
Be a parent.
Yes, thank you.
That's spelled A space P-A-R-E-N-T, not A-P-P-E-A-R-E-N.
So this is third show in a row I've got you going. This is good. I like it.
You know what? We don't need nanny state. Try being parents.
Right.
Try talking to your kids. Try
the television and the computer are not your kids' babies.
Society doesn't need to raise your kids.
That's right.
That's it.
100%
Rear your kids. Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. Well, we'll keep you posted as that develops. Hopefully those guys will hold fast and will, I mean, I think I can understand. It would not bother me if cigars and even cigarettes wanted to advertise on Facebook, but I suppose there is the age thing. I guess I get that. So, but it doesn't.
But what we should do is we should completely shelter all kids so that they don't even know that exists.
Well, we
need to do. So they're not completely prepared for actual reality.
So I'll tell you this: when we were doing the whiskey sniff last year. We wanted to do a Facebook, what do they call like a meet page, like when you have an event page,
right.
And then we wanted to advertise that to people who were in our area who might be interested, and you can do different targeting things and say, hey, this event's going on. If you want to buy tickets and come enjoy the whiskeys with us, and we were turned down because it was advertising alcoholic beverages. Is what they said. So we couldn't advertise that.
It was the tobacco.
It was the tobacco. It didn't actually.
Alcohol is okay.
Right. Alcohol is okay.
But you can't advertise tobacco.
Right. And again, it was a cigar event.
So these are both things that are perfectly legal.
It was a cigar event, not cigarettes. And it wasn't in any way targeted to people. In fact, you couldn't have gotten in if you weren't of legal age.
That's right. So this is targeted towards adults, and both of these things are completely legal.
Right.
But you're allowed to advertise an alcohol event, but not a cigar event.
And
now, how many times have you ever seen somebody in your life smoke a bunch of cigars and go wreck their car?
Yeah.
This is incredible.
Maybe if you had those 10 cigars to smoke right now and you smoked
Listen,
all
buddy,
10 of
you're
them,
on cigar number 4. You're going to have to slow down or we're calling an Uber.
and then the Uber guy won't let you in because you have
Because
cigar
you smell
breath.
like cigars, right? Yeah.
Oh, well,
I'm sorry. I'm just boggled by this. Like,
I know.
Like, where does this even come from? Who thinks up these things?
and why are the people who are making no distinction between premium cigars and cigarettes, why are those people who have no knowledge of either one?
yeah.
Right? That makes no sense to me. But I suppose that's the way most regulation is. You know?
Isn't it, though? That's called bureaucracy, my
I
friend.
believe it is. Well, Caleb, welcome to the show. Caleb, tell me, first of all, what your position is at Bakfish.
I'm the brewer at
So-
Bakfish.
So you are the guy that figures out the recipes, make sure they work appropriately, and make sure that everything's consistent the way
Yep.
that it's supposed
And
to
I,
do.
yep. I turn the grain into beer.
and clean a lot of equipment.
And yes, I'm a professional janitor.
And you told me in the segment, actually, that you're fairly new at Bakfish.
I am.
So,
Yeah, I've been there a little over a month now.
So how do you get like what must be seriously one of the coolest jobs in the world?
Well, I do have prior experience,
Right.
and Bagfish happens to use the same equipment that I used in my last place I worked.
Okay.
So I could just slid right in.
You're able to
and-
come right in. And
Yeah.
Is it a big deal? I know, like if you're a professional athlete and you move from one team to another, you have to learn a new playbook, like because the plays they run at one will be different from the other. Is it like that in brewing? Learning the new recipes? Is it a learning curve of any kind?
There is a learning curve. I mean, first, little while, it's almost like cooking in someone else's kitchen.
Yeah.
And, if you're going to make
Where
it
the hell
mine.
are the spatulas?
Exactly.
Right.
But yeah, everything's coming together.
That's great. That's great. Are some of the recipes harder to learn or harder to to kind of grasp and perfect than others?
There's some styles, yeah. The ones that the original ones from the Bagfish lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm learning those. Haven't had really any problems with getting used to the brewing of those,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm bringing some of my techniques to try to maybe change little things and improve on some things too.
So will that apply to some of the beers that are already in the lineup potentially, or would these be new creations?
Well, I'm not really touching any of our original stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You're
As of
talking
yet.
about the processes, not the flavors.
Yeah,
of the
like
beers themselves.
it's different ways of doing things. You
Right,
know.
I understand. Maybe more efficient, or a way that
Or just works better
Yeah,
for
just
you.
works better. Yeah, absolutely.
But then also, I'll be bringing there's a couple styles Bagfish has never had, like in our tap room,
Mm-hmm.
and so we're gonna. The owner's giving me some room to play in there.
When you bring a new style on, is it normal to basically introduce it as a tap room only first and kind of see how that goes
Yeah.
over, see how people respond to it before you roll it out in a bigger way?
We kind of put it out, dip our toe in, see what the our core crowd is. Our tap room. I mean, we're a neighborhood type brew pub,
Mm-hmm.
and so we want to make sure our core is happy with it, our people, and then if it's a hit, then definitely put it out to the masses.
Is the tap room considered, well, let me make sure I'm asking this question right. Obviously, the tap room and the brew pub part of it is how everything started.
Mm-hmm.
Does there come a time when the external business is bigger and more important, and that maybe is secondary, or are you always more focused on making sure the tap room is running well, making money, doing creating some profit for the company?
There's definitely some balance with our production brewing,
Right.
and then our tap room stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There hasn't really. I haven't seen anything as of yet to really one's overbearing on the other.
Right.
And we try to keep new and fresh stuff in the tap room
Mhm.
to try. We every Thursday we have a new beer on tap in the tap room.
I
And
love that about local tap rooms.
That is just the coolest thing, isn't it?
Here, try this. Here,
you were
try
there.
this.
You were there last week. You come back in. There's something new to
Yep.
try.
Or this is the same beer you've been trying, but we put it in this barrel for a while.
Right.
Just
Exactly.
wonderful things.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
That's what we're experimenting with. We've taken all y'all our Belgian Pale, and this Thursday, today, we're actually releasing it with cranberry.
Nice.
Cranberry. Interesting. That'll be. I bet that'd be very refreshing. Yeah.
And these are things you can take out in a crowler if you really enjoy it, right?
The smaller batches we don't because we try
gotcha,
to
okay.
stretch them out a little bit. We want more people to try them.
But your core line is always available.
We do have our core stuff that is available in crowlers. And growlers.
How much canning are you guys doing right now?
As far as we can a couple times a month. We're in HEBs and Total Wines. So.
Yeah, I've seen it around.
It's back.
And we've tried. We've had trying to remember which one we've had on the show. You mentioned it earlier. Was
with the all y'all or the cheap sunglasses?
Cheap sunglasses.
Oh, yeah, cheap sunglasses.
Yeah. So
and you mentioned earlier, we were chatting earlier. You said that's like one of the best sellers. You guys
I think it's our best seller. I'm not. Don't quote me on that.
I said one of. That's okay.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
That gives you some slush room.
You know, you're there for a month. You're supposed to know everything. So we're going to start our tasting with the Wit. I Tell You Wit is what it's called. In fact, Ian, maybe you want to put it on the what do we call that thing again?
Mr. Twirly Gig.
Mr. Twirly Gig. That's right. It's our special way that we show off beers to the camera. So I don't know if is that working? Are we getting the right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. That's good.
We're a fan of puns.
Yeah.
We're just going to let it go.
Yeah.
Yes, I noticed that about
I've
you.
noticed that. Well, Bakfish is one of the brands that I was thinking of when we talked a few weeks ago about how creative the packaging and naming and stuff has gotten in craft beer. It really is a thing, and I suppose that it needs to be in order to kind of stand out on the store shelf because there's so many brands.
There is.
Oh, that was good. That was really good. Pass that baby over, and I'll pour some of this. This one has the little orange slice on the can. Is there actually orange in the beer?
Yes, that beer is brewed with coriander and sweet orange peel, as opposed to bitter orange peel. A lot of people use in wits.
Right. And was this one of the earlier beers?
Yes,
it was, right. One of the earliest ones in the lineup. It's so interesting to me when and obviously if you're launching as a brew pub, you're going to have a handful of styles when you first open. But it's so interesting to me what a particular craft brewery will kind of launch as what they see as possibly being their flagship in their early days. Often it's an IPA. But in a lot of cases, but in a lot of cases, it's been something different. I mean, if you think St. Arnold, for example, it was the amber. That was the one that made them that kind of put them on the map. I don't think it's anywhere near their bestseller today, but it was kind of their flagship beer. So with you guys opening though as a brew pub, you probably had 4 or 5. I realized this before you were there, but I probably had 4 or 5 different iterations and styles available in the earliest days of the brew pub.
And it's changed. I know there was an IPA in the beginning that we no longer produce now. It got replaced by cheap sunglasses, and I think that might be the only one. They did a pretty good job of.
You can definitely get the orange flavoring in
the
this.
Orange is all over the place.
It's not like a sweet orange, but it's also not that you were talking about that more bitter orange. It's not that. It's somewhere in the middle in terms of sweetness.
I like how this beer finishes. It's got a creaminess to it that when it finishes, you almost expect from the initial flavor for it to have a little bit bitterness on the finish, but it really finishes a little more creamy than anything else.
Well, yeah.
Also, it smells outstanding.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
It smells so good I want to dab some on my neck.
This is one I'll have in my nostril in a minute.
This has got a lot of wheat in the base, so that's what provides the body. And then it's not really hoppy.
It doesn't have that dank, weedy beer kind of flavor that you get with a lot of wits, though.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that kind of over-ripeness that you taste a lot of times.
I was going to mention that the creaminess and the orange kind of come through stronger than that sort of Belgian dankness that you're talking about, Ian, that a lot of the Belgian styles have. I agree. It makes it a very good, I think, summer beer, like a very good around the pool, just at the barbecue.
Exactly.
It's a fairly low ABV, right? I was looking.
Yeah, that's right around 5.
Right around 5. Okay,
so
you can
reasonably sessionable.
This is the summer of the 5, by the way, because breweries that don't have a lot of 5-ish ABVs in their lineup are putting them out this summer. I mean, there's so much going on with these lower ABV beers right now, but this is delicious.
I'm going to need to do a little more research.
I think I would hate for you to come
I
away
like,
with
I also
a
like,
less than complete picture of what the beer is all about.
It's interesting too because it looks more carbonated than it tastes. Like it fizzes up like it should, but when you taste it, it's not a really heavily carbonated beer. It's there. It's got enough to make it dance a little bit, but it's definitely
doesn't have a ton of that carbonic acid.
Yeah, and it's not like it doesn't stick with you and it doesn't burn your throat or anything like that. You know?
No, it's really easy drinking. It's perfect for the summer.
Agreed.
It really is. In your last position, did you have as many different iterations, as many different styles as what Bakfish had? Is this...
the last place I was at was a little bit more experimental. We did a lot of sours and things like that.
Is there anything in the Bakfish lineup that was a new style for you when you got there?
Actually, the Belgian wit, I've never really done wits before.
Wow.
So I've played around with the Belgian yeasts, but never this exact style.
When a brewmaster goes out with buddies, what do you drink when you're not drinking like your own? So like, what styles would you lean towards? And are you doing research, or are you just having beers?
Man, I'm always doing research. And it's something I'm always looking for I get an idea somewhere.
Yeah.
But no, during the summertime, like the hot part of the year, like we are now, pales, some sours, like some gozas, Berliner Weisses, IPAs.
Yeah.
Later on in the night, maybe double IPAs.
Yes, it's always kind of an adventure. But yeah, I agree with you. I try, if I'm going to have a double or imperial, I always try to have some of the lighter ones first, because some of those babies can do a little palate wrecking for you if you're not careful.
Yeah.
And keep you from completely enjoying some of the lighter ABV beers. Ian, anything from your further research that you want to comment?
I'm for it. This is good. This is going to be this is going to actually become one of my kind of go-to alternate summer flavor beers, because I love, I'm not if I'm going out, especially if I'm going to have a day where I'm going out like on the river or something like that.
And you're going to have a number of beers.
One flavor, because that drives me nuts after a while, and it doesn't matter how much I like the beer.
Right.
But this is one of those that you toss in there, especially you're like, that's so awesome.
That'll be perfect for now.
That's great.
You're 100% right. And Caleb, I will point this out as we like to do when we have guests, that it is an established fact. It's not a claim. It's a fact that smoking and toasting influences sales, because Ian himself will be buying.
Yes, I will actually stop and buy some of this. Therefore, I have directly affected
he has
sales.
directly affected sales. So it
you may
does
think
happen.
to yourself, but it's only 1 6-pack. But it would be one less if I wasn't here.
That's right. and knowing Ian the way I do, it's not going to be one six-pack. All right, I tell you what, we're going to take a quick break, come back for the third segment. There's still more to do, including, I want to get to this list from Maxim Magazine of 10 great cigars to smoke right now. And we have more to taste from Bakfish, including the All Y'all Texas Golden Ale, and we'll talk about the whole name of this one, which I think is awesome.
I love that.
Yes, absolutely awesome. So we will be right back at Smoking and Toasting, and it's show number 142.
Coming up with topics to get me riled up.